Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the afternoon session of ISITIA 2024 second day. We hope that all of you have enjoyed all our sessions so far, from yesterday until today. This afternoon, we have Dr. Chanakya Kumar from Siddhant Group of Institutions from India, who will share a workshop on community development and humanitarian projects. There are already many researchers from Indonesia who benefit from the IEEE fundings on humanitarian projects. And hopefully, from this workshop, you can also be the next successful awardee in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall proceed to the workshop. Please welcome Dr. Kumar, along with our moderator, Dr. Atamimi from ITS.
Okay, thank you very much for the invitation. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce Mr. Kumar, Professor Chanakya Kumar, for the workshop on community development. He will be presenting with title Funding Opportunities Through Humanitarian Activities under the SDG of United Nations. Before presentation, I will deliver the biography, short biography of Professor Kumar. Dr. Chanakya Kumarja is Director, Planning Group of Institutions, Secretary of Federation of World Academicians from 2021 until 2022, member of Section Chapter Committee at IEEE Region 10, Vice Chair HAC IEEE India Council 2019 until 20, Vice Chair HAC, IEEE India Council, also Vice Chair ECIM, IEEE India, and also IEEE Bombay Section, Chief Editor, and many other, IEEE Access and so on. Okay, Mr. Kumar, would you like to present?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to all. And thanks the chair of this conference, the organizer team, Dr. I.R. Puzi, to organizing this 25th series of International Seminar on Intelligent Technology and its Applications. Other professor, volunteers, and entire organizer team for this conference. So my topic of presentation is about the STC. As I'm seeing the name of the conference itself, it's Intelligent Technology and its Application. Basically, the logo and the vision of the IEEE to work behind and to work for the humanitarian technology. It's a slogan of the IEEE. And the IEEE STC just group, it's a committee that works for the humanitarian technology activities. The basic aim is to convert the technology for the humanity, to provide the many resources of the technology that we are doing. The technology is generated and doing by the engineers, by the scientists, but the real technology will be only once it will be utilizable for the humanity. And this is the committee of the IEEE that utilizing the fund, what the fund IEEE uses for the social activities. So now it is using all kind of the fund, even some of the fund generated by the IEEE Foundation, many funds that donated for the IEEE for the different activities, it utilized by using the STC, Humanitarian Technology Committee. Next. So this, next slide. This technology and the transferring of the funding is all depend upon the SDG. SDG is the Sustainable Development Goal of the United Nations. And in this is the theme of the conference is also related with the sustainable technology. And this, the mission of the STC about the IEEE Humanitarian Activities Committee that support IEEE board endorsed vision of IEEE volunteers around the world carrying out for the impactful humanitarian activities and the technology activities. In the right side, you are seeing the different humanitarian activities that doing by the different peoples from the different regions. One important thing is here, for getting the fund of the IEEE HSC or the SITE, Special Interest Group of Humanitarian Technology, it is not necessary, it is not compulsory the member and the project writer should be from the IEEE background. So the NGO and other people, if the project is relevant to the SDG, so it will be useful and the IEEE will provide the funding. Next. So what is the mission of this Humanitarian Activities Committee is providing the financial support to the relevant projects and events. So remember that the project should be relevant and the event should be relevant because there is some specific criteria for that IEEE will fund or not fund. Then providing education, mentoring and networking support. Education in terms of providing the support in the seminar, workshop, online, offline certification course, how the engineers, how the technological the people can do something for the betterment of the humanity, promoting and supporting collaboration with the IEEE and non-IEEE. That is most important here. This is the only one society, this is only one committee where there is no restriction of the people should be the member of IEEE. So non-IEEE volunteers through IEEE SITE program. I think SITE is Special Interest Group of Humanitarian Technology. Building a strategic partnership with the other relevant stakeholders. These other relevant stakeholders means the people from the rural areas, the people from the ground, the people from the farmer community, or the other community where they require the technology in actual. Providing assistance to volunteers who support local teams undertaking feet on ground community-based activities. Next. So I think something blurred. So it's only about, you should understand or we should understand about the basic difference between the IEEE HAC and SIGST. So in the very simple word, we can say IEEE HAC is a Humanitarian Activity Committee and IEEE SITE is the subcommittee of HAC. In the IEEE HAC, we can apply the project that is the part of the IEEE members, but in the site we can associate non-IEEE members, we can associate NGO, we can associate the local groups that actually they are working in the ground. So these are the basic difference. So IEEE HSC works for the raising awareness. Awareness means by doing the activities in the society, doing the survey where the requirement of the water, where in which part of the world is requirement of the education, the light requirement, the basic amenities. So these are the part of the awareness, and the people should understand what is the actual requirement of the in the field, in the real community. Keep in mind, the technology can be converted to the innovation. The technology can be converted for the implementation, and the technology can be converted for the market areas only the project having sustainable activities based project, and it is need of the humanity. So it is important. The next, not next. Providing training. HSC provide educational resources, opportunities that humanitarian activities participants, and now in the last 2 years, around 540 individuals have participated in the free online site or HSC courses through the IEEE Learning Network. It supports for the different awards, funding from IEEE member projects, utilize technology to address local challenges. Till the 2021, IEEE HSC received around 385 projects proposal from 45 countries, and 92 projects were selected. So during the COVID-19, there was several projects related to the HSC humanitarian activities were submitted, and even the many events were organized through the seminar, workshop, the people were organized. Even there was some projects from the Indonesia section that was the very limelight during the COVID-19 from the WIE, Women in Engineering Group, an affinity group of IEEE. So HSC offers program to engage around 22,000 members in 125 countries, and you should be very surprised that most of the IEEE HSC activities and site activities is performing in the developing countries, not for the developed country, like the South African countries, many Asian countries, not the US and all, because the actual requirement of the converging and transferring the technology in the developing countries, because many countries, many places do not have the proper electricity, a lack of the education, lack of the water, lack of the proper food, sanitation. These are the actual requirement. And as being the IEEE members, as being the engineers, it is our social and moral responsibility to transferring the technology. Simultaneously, the site group is the sub-committee for the HSC, and there are the site members are from the 53 countries, and there is no extra charges for becoming or being the member of the site or being the part of the HSC. So it is important here. Next slide. So how the IEEE HSC subcommittees? So one of the important subcommittees here, the site, work for the project sponsorship, event sponsorship, education and the training sponsorship. And in the mid of that, there is the executive committee that communicate all the projects, assessments, partnership with the local activities group, and the communication, education and the events. Next. So say overall, the grant in the 2023, over 35,000 individuals received personal protective equipment to protect for the COVID. And 1,000 individuals in Africa were trained to make locally sourced sanitizer and other PPE. So these are the major the contribution of the HSC during the COVID, many projects were related to the robot in the hospital. I cannot share many details like the Uganda also. In the Uganda, there the local group has made a robot that helped to check the COVID patients. So during the COVID time, there was a big challenge for the health worker also, how to recognize and how to touch with the COVID patients. So in that region, in that duration, that providing the technology to understand the COVID problem and who having the COVID-19 problem, so it was very helpful. So there are several for region tracking were built, and some of the like 100 local partnerships were developed, and success stories were shared by half of the project through the local news channel, newspaper, and various social media. So almost 94% project that was submitted and recognized and approved by the HSC has been completed, submitted the resources. Next. So how the IEEE HSC supports? So it's a awareness rising of the sustainable development, that now what we are doing the awareness about the how IEEE HSC is working, SIGST is working, then providing the training, networking and mentoring, engagement with the sustainable development projects and events, and then contribution to the sustainable development community. These are the four parts supports is required while writing and while doing the HSC projects. Next. See, these are the total 17 sustainable development goals. If you want to apply and getting the fund of HSC or site, then we should keep in mind all the projects should be relevant to the 17 points. These are the 17 points with no poverty, no food, no hungry, health, quality education, gender equity, clean, light, network, and many others like the water for the underground water. These are the main things. So the project should be always inclined with the SDG. I think it is not visible very clearly, but if you will go to the HSC website or the site website, you will easily find projects should be relevant to the which kind of the topics. Next. So projects supports from the IEEE HSC is like experienced team and a strong track record. What is the meaning of this experienced team? Means the people should be from the IEEE senior members, or having the background of doing some kind of the project, or having the connectivity with the local community, and a strong track record. Means project completion record should be very strong, so that like 15 years or 20 years of track record about submitting the projects and all. Even we applied here for the Bombay section many times. One time we received 1,999 USD for one project, then 5,000 USD for the other projects. And one more project we applied and received 50,000 USD for the HSC from the site. So depends upon, and many project has been not recognized and accepted proposal for the IEEE funding. But if you have satisfied all the conditions, so surely you will get the funding. So IEEE, this HSC supports the grant for 1,000 to 5,000 per funded project, and the duration of the project should be 12 months. What types of the project? This is very important. Otherwise, like if you'll apply your final year or the master project or the PhD project, so these projects cannot be funded. The project funded should be inclined with the community need. If suppose, if you want to apply the project and make the project for the water problem or the sanitation problem, just before my presentation, there was Dr. something was doing the presentation for the cosmography and the magnetic and all those things. So that kind of the things is very important. If we people as being the human being submit the proposal to the IEEE that to avoid these kind of the problem. So that is that kind of project is relevant, and we can get the fund from the IEEE to save the earth. The first thing is the project should be community related with the community need. The second is that it should be aligned with SDGs. So to understand what is meaning of the sustainable, it's a very important. While we are making the doing the project, we are getting the approval of the project, but it should not be limited to me, or it should not related to the particular who has submitted the project and doing the project. It should be sufficient, it should be sustainable. Means after completion of this project, again no need of the money to run this project. It should be viral, it should be communicated with the other people, like if you are providing the training, if you are providing the education to a person. So it is a sustainable project. Because if you provide the education to one person, that person can provide the education to the other person. But if you start to sell something, some product, so we can sell the product only one time. It should not be the sustainable project. Sustainable means if our training is the most sustainable, if you provide the solution for the water problem, it should be sustainable. It would be sustainable for the community. So these are the requirements. So it always align with the SDG and volunteer feet on the ground activities. And you have to, while writing the project, you have to involve the local people, the local community, who know better about the local area's problem. And the deadline for the 2024 proposal, it was the 4th April, 30th June, and the 1st September. Next. So, how the supporting the local volunteer to address these community challenges, feet on the ground project. So it should be clearly involved and will benefit it. And it should be targeted for the country or the country's problem. Address local capacity building, technology, adaptation, deployment, assessment, impact and sustainability. So the project cost, equipment, material, supplies, necessary travel for the 12-month period. But these are not related with your, like the food, these are not related with the other things. So it is important here ki what the, while writing with the project, so there are several small points that you should consider and you should know ki how, which point we should be considered for the funding and which should not be. Like here it is written equipment, only the some part equipment, material, supplies, necessary travel. So if you 10% or the 20% of the extra, all the amount will be for this traveling, the IEEE reject this proposal. So that is the thing. So there will not be any reimbursement for the volunteer, like the if we'll say the 200 rupees for the volunteer activities, it would not be considered for that. So only if the things which will be applicable, if you buy something from the market, you can write and you can include that. Next. And what the things would not be considered, do not clearly articulate active community involvement. If it not reflect in the project approval will not be considered. Address local need and sustainability plan, it is required. If the both things will be not reflect from the proposal, it will be rejected. And projects are focused primarily on research, immediate disaster relief, development of technology, supplying or distributing existing product, and commercial implementation or development. So these are the considered and above what not considered. Next. So, and that comes to the part of the events. So events means if you are organizing the conference, so entire conference will not be considered for funding, but part of the conference like the humanitarian technology activities, lectures and the workshop, it will be sponsored by the IEEE HSC. You can apply, you can get. There is some deadline here also. I think the 15th July, and one more extra deadline this year HSC has given that is not included here. So partial grant for this is the 50,000 USD. Next. What kind of the events will be sponsored by the IEEE HSCs? Pre-conference workshop, tracks, workshop, plenary speakers, panel session, and clearly articulates how to component and support that previously we discussed. Please, and these are the things. The events must be officially conference approval, like the IEEE events, then only you can apply it for this event sponsorship. Next. That are not, which are the terms are not considered here? The sponsorship of entire conference, IEEE distinguished lecture series is not considered, regular IEEE meetings, a scholarship to individuals, participation of individual at competition or award, cannot support project or provide seed funding for any startups. Any commercial things is not sponsored, so only SDG project relevant to the community, in short, it will be applicable. Next. So it's a subcommittee of the site. So there are some different in the funding, but here the involvement of the non-IEEE community is required, along with the criteria of is very similar to the IEEE HSC. Next. So same here, but the grant for the site project is somehow higher than HSC. It was till the 5,000 USD. It is for the 19,999 US dollar. The project duration is the same, and deadline is some different. The 1st September is now the next deadline, where you can submit the proposal. Next. And it's very similar like the HSC project to be considered for the supports, but here is only that I asked you the community involvement is compulsory. If will not add the like local volunteers, if will not add the name of the NGO, the project will not be sanctioned, will not be considered. Next. The project should be focused primarily on research and the same, the HSC and the site having the same project proposal, only the things is that. Next. Now let us discuss about some projects that was funded. Before that, we want to play one video about the IEEE HSC. Video.
ingin mood dulu kan. Jadi
IEEE Humanitarian Technologies is a consortium of programs and initiatives supported by a global network of volunteers and technical professionals working together to apply technology to solve the world's most pressing problems. In keeping with the IEEE mission of advancing technology for the benefit of humanity at the core, our consortium of humanitarian programs leverages the strength and reach of the IEEE network to make a difference in local communities around the globe. Our joint impact reaches all corners of the world. We work closely with local partners in small small communities to IEEE Humanitarian Technologies is a consortium of programs and initiatives supported by a global network of volunteers and technical professionals working together to apply technology to solve the world's most pressing problems. In keeping with the IEEE mission of advancing technology for the benefit of humanity at the core, our consortium of humanitarian programs leverages the strength and reach of the IEEE network to make a difference in local communities around the globe. Our joint impact reaches all corners of the world. We work closely with local partners in small communities to address local challenges. We also work with the global partners to solve universal problems facing our next generations. Through our humanitarian technology programs, we power remote villages, provide internet for all, electrify healthcare, and empower education. We provide opportunities to fund the design and implementation of sustainable technologies to solve the most pressing challenges in the world. We also support disaster relief by providing connectivity and electricity to affected people in the US and abroad. Through our initiatives and programs, we not only give a platform for engineering with purpose, but also allow young engineers to grow professionally while significantly benefiting humanity. The humanitarian technology programs at IEEE inspire new generations to solve our current social, environmental, and humanitarian problems. When joining the IEEE Humanitarian Technologies, you're not just an engineer, you're a change maker, sparking transformative solutions worldwide to build a better and more sustainable world for all. Join us.
Yeah. So actually, voice was not very high. So slide. So these are some of the case studies you can say. The project developed by and approved by the many section. This is the IEEE Madras section project. It was like develop the board design and the board building based FOA standard SBD-BB. It was so that time that was a requirement of the implementation of the renewable energy sources. So some of the students had applied there and provide the board equipped with the renewable energy sources, the solar panel, and that help to implement the GPS system in the board. They help for the fishery to like solar power self-transportation for women fish vendors. Utilizing the solar power, they connected with the solar power energy with the fridge somehow. So they stored properly the fishes in the ship itself. So the small ice, the solar powered small ice making unit for the main fish vendors. So infrastructure assessment in fishing harbors and fish landing centers. So they avoid for the losing, including the physical and economical losses. So it was funded and it was submitted by the IEEE Madras section. Next. Next. So this is the site Pratham project. The project was to provide the computer literacy program for the different tribal women And most of the women was don't know how to write alphabetical A, B, C, and all these things. So we converted that alphabets in their language, regional language, and then around 250 women trained by this program. It was funded by the IEEE site, $1,995 USD that received for this program. And it is very, you will know, and very happy subject is that the most of the women now running their own business for like the computer centers, not providing the training for the coding and all those things, but at least they use the technology of the computer, and in the rural village, tribal area, they provide the printout and provide the internet services in these areas. So that was the very sustainable project. Even many women are working for that. So, and there was one more program that is relevant, and that was sponsored with the TCS, Tata Consultancy Services. So during that program, we trained the people to know what is plumbing, what is electricity, and how to solve the small plumbing electricity problems without help to the plumbers. Because if you have not much richer family, and if you have any problem related to the plumbing and electricity, so you have to pay some rupees for that. But if you know these small things like what is 5 ampere, what is 15 amperes, so it would be helpful to save the life also. And if you'll understand how to solve the small plumbing problem and household things, so it is using. Even in this program, we trained the people about to make the solar cooker without using any like the big equipments and material. So only with the aluminum foil, how use that solar cooker. So these are the things, a small technology awareness program. And during the COVID, that was the distribution of some foods collected from the people and provided to the needy community. Next. And when it comes to the point here, there was a very famous project by the Indonesia section that is approved by the HAC. During the COVID, it was the Women Against Disruptive Information. And that was relevant, very relevant and useful information in the project during the COVID, where WIE of Indonesia section and started apps and the website and providing information related with the COVID-19. So, and during that, thanks for many people, So it was funded by the 50,000 USD. 50,000 USD by the IEEE Foundation and the many peoples. So it about the disruptive information has spread significantly around the world during the social media, and which information is correct or which one is not correct. So during the COVID, we found the many information, wrong information was spread out in the community, and people were panicked during how to, and they didn't recognize which information was correct and which one is not correct. So during that, and it was very useful, and Indonesia WI group is 1 year ago, till the 1 year ago, they were using to prevent the spread disinformation by collaborating with the community, media, government, social medias, and all those things. So these are the this is the very important project, and the name was WADI, W-A-D-I. Next. So this is where the site groups are. So it almost 100 site groups working in the 45 countries, and all are active, and most are from the developing countries. Next. Next. So the question is how we people can help for the society, can help for this the community through the IEEE, because IEEE is ready to provide the fund. They only want the project should be relevant and for the community. If you have the work, if you want to work, if you have technology and the transferring the technology for the humanity, there are different ways IEEE to provide the fund for all. Back. So identify the volunteer involved in the sustainable development activities and recognize contribution of IEEE volunteers and identifying their needs and support sustainable development activities at region and section levels. So these are the things that we should work actually on the basis of the humanitarian background and the ground and work for the community, with the support of the IEEE. This is one of the best opportunity that IEEE providing to all of us. So thanks to all providing me an opportunity to be here and discuss about some of the IEEE HSE and the site projects. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Kumar, for the great speech. Actually, we are running out of time. Maybe I will invite audience only one questions, maybe. Any question? Yes, it looks like your presentation was very clear, so there is no question. Okay.
Thank you very much for an interesting topics in today's workshop. I have a question regarding site. As you know, Indonesia is a very large. We have a large of area with a lot of islands and so on, and some island, even some island is still have difficulties in having an access for electricity. Is it possible that we propose a project, for example, to help them get an access for electricity? But as you know, there are a lot of area that experiencing the same problems for electricity and also probably for clean water. Can we apply similar problems but for different area in this case? So for example, for this year, we propose to help area which is in the eastern part of Indonesia, probably. And then for the next year, we continue to work on helping on the area which is in the western part. That's for example. Can we do that? Thank you.
Yeah, it's a very interesting question and useful question, both the things. So here we should follow sustainable project. The things sustainable means if you start project from one area, it should be percolated in the other area. The same project IEEE will not be fund for the each year. Even for this, suppose the one project for the one part of the Indonesia. And the next year, we'll apply the same project for the next part of the Indonesia. So I'm not sure whether IEEE will sponsor or not. But what we can do, we can make a cumulative project for entire all area where it is required. And we can submit the project proposal to the IEEE. And if possible, then we can associate with some of the NGO involved then and ask for some partial sponsorship and funding from them. So at the one time, the project should be involving with the NGO. Other things, it should be related with the community. Even we can contact with the local community, involve the people. So the project will be sponsored. This is the one thing. In that, we can involve many other like the IEEE EPICS and the IEEE Smart Village. I know in Ladakh, there was the same problem in the Ladakh of the electricity, and IEEE Smart Village and IEEE Foundation along with the IEEE HSE and site all together provide the sponsorship and install many solar. Even in the video you seen that there was a huge solar plates were installed during that. So it was a project in the Ladakh. In the Ladakh, there is the same problem. There is no flat land. So everywhere there is a hill, stays like hilly areas, and the temperature is many times it is minus 32-degree temperature, 40-degree temperature. So the IEEE supported that to installation of the solar, and now many households having the electricity connection with the support of IEEE. And this information is available on the internet.
Okay, thank you very much for the answer.
Thank you.
Okay, I think yeah, it's time to conclude. Yeah. Bu Devi. Any question? Okay.
Yeah, you were asking something, madam.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Actually, maybe my question already, some of the question already answered from the first question. I just want to make sure that we have a community project driven by our university in one village in Lombok, but we still need funding support to make it sustain. So is it possible to propose that budget from this scheme?
Yes, you can do it.
Actually, we also have another donator also. Is it possible to have one project with some donator?
Yes, it is possible. While writing the project, you should include the name of the other sponsor, and you can write the project is partially sponsored by some of them, the name of the sponsor, and some sorts of the money is required from the IEEE, then it is possible.
Okay, thank you very much.
If the project is relevant and related with the community need, SDG, aligned with
SDGs,
SDG,
yes.
so IEEE sponsored with you.
Okay, thank you very much. It is clear.
Thanks, madam.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Because we are in terms. Yeah. I think. Yeah. Thank you very much again for the great speech, and let us applause him for. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So now I will give to MC.
Thank you so much to Professor Kumar and Dr. Atamimi. Before we continue, Professor Kumar, may you please stay at the stage for a few moments? I would like to invite a representative from the University of Mataram to give a token of appreciation to Professor Kumar. Perhaps Dr. Rosmaliati would like to give that token.